Hi, I'm Mr. C, the teacher, and this is my classroom. Over the years, I've created hundreds of lessons in every subject area. So grab your tools for school and join in with us. Or sit back and just watch. And let's go on a learning journey together. Because you're watching Lessons from the Classroom. Well, let's take a look at what the topic for today's episode is going to be about. Tut tut, looks like rain. Tut tut, looks like rain. Or maybe not. After all, it can't rain inside, can it? Or can it? Let's do a little hands-on experiment with a few simple items and a little imagination, and we'll actually make it rain inside the classroom. Here's what we're going to need. A tin pan, make sure there's no holes in the bottom, that'd be cheating. Some glue, a handful of cotton balls, which we're going to glue onto the outside so that it looks a little bit more like a cloud. We're going to need an electric kettle full of boiling water. And then lastly, we're going to need a bag of ice to put into our cloud so we can make our cloud cold. So first of all, we want to take our cotton balls and we want to tear them apart and spread them out. Then with some glue, we'll put glue onto the side and we'll glue our cotton balls onto here. All right, now that I've got my cloud made, use my imagination, I'm going to hold my cloud up here in the sky where it's much colder. The air is warm on the ground, but as you get higher into the sky, the air gets colder. In order to make this pan colder, like a real cloud, I'm going to add my bag of ice to it. All right, I've got my ice in there, but there's no holes, so I don't have to worry about it leaking. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my kettle here, and I'm going to make sure I get the water boiling. The water in the kettle is like water that you would find on the ground, or in a lake, or around an ocean. And it evaporates with the sun's heat. As it evaporates, it turns from liquid water into a gas, water molecules, which rise up into the sky. And when it reaches a point in the sky where it's so cold, the water starts to condense. When it condenses, we get water droplets. When we get enough water droplets, we get a cloud. And when that cloud gets lots of water in it, it starts to go darker. That means it's got a lot more rain in it. When it's really full of rain, the rain starts to fall as raindrops. And that's what we're creating right here. We're letting the steam from the kettle, which is our water vapor, reach that cold surface of the cloud. It's cold because of the ice, and it's going to condense and form water droplets. When that happens, we get rain inside the classroom. All right, we're getting our first raindrops starting to fall. Can you see those raindrops? The cloud is starting to rain. Well, look at all those raindrops forming underneath our cloud. We're actually making it rain in the classroom. Worksheet lessons. What is weather? And it says, weather is what the air is like outside. There are many kinds of weather. Look at the pictures. Write the words for the different kinds of weather. Use the words in the word box. Let's start with number one. When I look at number one, I see lots of water falling out of the sky, out of these big clouds, making everything wet. When I look at my words to choose from, sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, snowy, I feel like rainy fits the best. I'm going to copy it from the box up there. R-A-I-N-Y. For number 2, this time what I see is the tree bent over, the flowers bent over, and not rain coming out of the clouds, but lots of air blowing. So when I look at the choices of sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy, I think windy fits the best, and I can copy it from up here. W-I-N-D-Y. Now when I look at picture number 3, it looks like a scene from winter. White fluffy stuff all on the ground and on top of the tree and on the roofs. White flakes falling from the sky. Sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy. I think snowy, the last word in that list. S-N-O-W-Y. When I look at this picture, I see some blue sky, but there's also white puffy things in the sky. Sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy. I'm going to say cloudy. C-L-O-U-D-Y. I look at picture number 5. I see a very calm day with lots of blue sky, and our star is out shining brightly. Is this a sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy day? I'm going to go with our first word, sunny. Look at picture number 6. There's some very low cloud, almost to the ground, kind of hiding some of the house and the tree behind it. Is it sunny, foggy, windy, rainy, cloudy, or snowy? Foggy. What is weather? You know, I love being surrounded by great books, because one of my favorite things to do is to read stories. So let's make some time right now and read a storybook. This is story time. Franklin and the Thunderstorm by Paulette Bourgeois. Illustrated by Brenda Clark and read by Mr. C, the teacher. Franklin could count by twos and tie his shoes. He could name the months of the year and all the seasons. He could read the thermometer
and he checked the barometer every day. Franklin worried about the weather because he was afraid of storms. One day, Franklin was supposed to play at Fox's house, but the sky was getting dark and the clouds were thick. "Maybe I shouldn't go," Franklin said to his mother. She looked out the window. "It probably won't rain until later," she said. "You have time to get to Fox's." Franklin put on his boots and took the umbrella. As Franklin hurried to Fox's house, he kept looking at the sky. The clouds moved quickly, and wind swirled dirt in the air. Franklin felt all jumpy inside. Fox was playing outside when Franklin arrived. Franklin pointed nervously to the sky. "I think we should go inside, don't you?" he asked. "Not yet," Fox grinned. "I love watching the clouds move and feeling the wind blow. It's exciting." "I think it's scary," said Franklin. Beaver, Snail, and Hawk came over to play too. "My fur feels funny when it's about to storm," said Fox. "My feathers get all ruffled," said Hawk. Beaver sniffed. "I can smell a storm coming." The wind became stronger. Hawk flew loop-the-loops. "Whee!" he cried. Franklin held onto his hat and shivered. It was almost as dark as night when big fat raindrops began to fall. "We should go in!" shouted Franklin. "No," said Fox. "Follow me." They raced to the treehouse, where it was dry. "Fox!" called his mother. "Time for everyone to come in." "It's all right," Fox shouted back. "We're in the tree." Fox's mother was there in a second. "It's dangerous to be near a tree during a storm," she said. "Lightning strikes tall things first, and you might get hurt." Franklin held on to Fox's mother all the way from the tree to the house. They were barely in the door when there was a flash of zigzag light. "Lightning!" shrieked Franklin. He trembled. "Thunder!" he screamed. "It's okay, Franklin," said his friends. "We're safe here." But Franklin had crawled deep inside his shell. Fox's mother brought treats. Still, Franklin wouldn't come out. Franklin's friends begged him to play, but Franklin stayed put. Then, with a flash and a crash, the lights went out. "Don't worry," said Fox's mother. She lit candles and turned on a flashlight. "Won't you come out now?" she asked Franklin. "No, thank you," he mumbled. "Don't be afraid," said Hawk. "All that noise is just cloud giants playing drums in the sky." Franklin peeked out. "Really?" he asked. "No, it's not," giggled Snail. "That noise is made when the giants go bowling." Franklin came out of his shell. "But what about the lightning?" "Well, that's easy," said Hawk. "The cloud giants are turning their lights on and off." Fox smiled. "I think it's the giants swinging from their chandeliers." Franklin laughed. "Giants? That's ridiculous," said Beaver. "Mr. Owl says lightning is a big spark of electricity that travels from the sky to the ground. The spark is so hot that it makes the air around it pop. That's the sound of thunder." "Amazing," said Franklin. Franklin felt a little better. He even played flashlight tag with his friends. Soon there was hardly any lightning. The thunder was a low rumble from far away, and the rain stopped. Then the lights went on. "Storm's over," said Fox. "Let's go outside and play." "Look," said Franklin, "a rainbow." "I know why the storm is over," Franklin said. "Those giants heard there's a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow, and they've gone to find it." Even Beaver had to smile.
More worksheet lessons.
So this is a little worksheet booklet that we've printed off from our website, and it's for our weather theme unit. And this is a booklet on clouds that we're going to illustrate. So after it's been printed off, you want to take the 3 pages and you want to cut them in half along the dotted lines. And let's make sure they go in the correct order. You can see at the bottom of the picture there's a page number. So this one says page 4, that one says page 5. We've already got the front cover, page 1, page 2, page 3, and pages 4 and 5. Get them all facing the same way, stack them nice and neat. With the stapler, get a couple of staples at the end on this side. And now we've got a little booklet that we can illustrate. So first job is to put your name on the front, and then we can color the picture later. This first page says, "Some clouds are high in the sky. They are white and feathery. They are cirrus clouds." Cirrus clouds are also sometimes known as horsetail clouds. They have this kind of curly wisp to them like this. They're thin, they're kind of wispy, and they're white. Often we see them as clouds that will never produce any rain. There's usually a lot of blue sky around. They're very cold clouds full of a lot of ice, but not the kind that's going to snow or cause hail. So here's our thin, wispy, white cirrus clouds. On page 2 it says, "Some clouds look like puffy mountains. They have flat bottoms. They are cumulus clouds." So these are the ones that have flat bottoms, quite fluffy. We often consider them sort of as being good weather clouds. Cumulus clouds. Some clouds are low in the sky. They look like gray sheets across the sky. They're called stratus clouds. So I've got my gray here. Kind of just make a cloud that's kind of grayish. Often they're really quite together a lot. Think of these as the gray, cloudy, kind of depressing, rainy day. These clouds often have rain in them. And they're low in the sky. You have to imagine our ground is down here. Page 4 tells us that a cloud that comes down to the ground is called fog. And in fact, usually fog is a stratus cloud that just comes right down to the ground. If fog is filled with a lot of pollution, we call it smog. This is fog. We might even have a bit of blue sky above that fog at times. Not always, but sometimes.
All right, well, it looks like I've got plenty of art supplies and tools on hand, so I guess it's time to do some quick art creations.
So for an art project, we're going to do a collage. Collage is simply when you make a picture using a whole bunch of different materials. And this collage is going to be a nighttime scene, a dark and stormy night, full of clouds and lightning and rain and wind. So for a collage, we need lots of different materials. We'll have a black piece of construction paper as our nighttime background, maybe a couple pieces of silver tin foil, some tissue or crepe paper. I've got it in black and blue. Some construction paper in different colors, purples, blues, grays. Some paint in different colors. Some cotton balls. But a sparkly pipe cleaner will make a nice lightning bolt. Maybe a bit of chalk. And of course, paint brushes, glue that's mixed with water, just straight standard glue. And I'll need some scissors. I've got a couple of fancy cut design scissors that make wavy lines when you cut. And I've got my regular pair of scissors as well. So lots of different materials that we're going to add together to make a stormy night scene. Okay, let's get started. So I think first thing I want to do is just maybe draw a few clouds in some different colors. Make these flat bottom clouds. Do some in purple, maybe make some clouds in blue, and some clouds in gray. And I'll use a pair of my wavy scissors to cut these out. And I think I'll take some of my tin foil and kind of crumple it up. Maybe flatten it down a little bit. Try and make sure the silvery side is out. And I'll take some of my liquid glue and let's glue these down. This will be my sky up here and my land will be down here. I'll put one up here. One over here. And I've got my clouds here too, so let's put some glue on my clouds and glue them on. Okay, let's add some cotton balls next. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue straight on the paper here and there. I'll move them all around the place. So just putting some glue there, and then when I take my cotton balls, I'm just going to pull them and stretch them apart. Just like clouds are pulled and stretched. Put it right on top of the glue. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to add in some ground area here. So I think with my paintbrush and some water, I think I'm going to add in some blue waves. And it doesn't matter if this doesn't show up very well because Remember, this is a dark, stormy night. I think I might even take a bit of crayon and get some crayon in here as well. The whole idea of collage is to use lots and lots of different materials. And I think I'll have some land, so maybe some green. And again, it doesn't matter that the colors are dark. This is a nighttime scene, so colors don't show up very well at night anyways. I might add some grass coming out here. Maybe with my chalk, I'll add some of the white foam of the water. I'm going to add a tree in. I'm not going to add a tree that stands tall and straight. Instead, my tree is bent over from the wind. So let's make a tree trunk that's really bent over. Maybe some of its leaves blowing off in the wind. And let's use some crepe paper just to give it some different texture. Cut some more clouds out. Okay, and I'll add a little bit of glue here and there and put on my crepe paper. Lots of layers makes it really effective. I'll use my chalk and I'm going to draw on some wind lines. Of course, you can't see wind, but as an artist, you might draw these little lines here to show wind. I'll take my glue and water mixture. This is mainly glue, but it's got a little water just to dilute it a bit. Put some of that on a paintbrush. And I'm going to just paint some glue going this way, the same direction as the wind. But just some streaks of it. I can take maybe some blue sparkles. This will become the rain that's coming down, like a big rainstorm. I think last we'll add a couple of lightning bolts. So I'm going to take my sparkly pipe cleaner, cut it in half, and I'm going to give it some zigzag bends like a lightning bolt. What we'll do is we'll stick those underneath the clouds there and add some glue to glue them down. So maybe a nice glob of glue underneath this. Put it there, push it down. Maybe one underneath this black cloud too. I want to darken up the sky a little bit more. I can go back to my paint, maybe get some black. Just add some streaks of black here and there. Here we have a collage with lots of different materials put together to make a dark and stormy night. Now I just have to put it on my drying rack to let it dry, and then afterwards I can shake off the extra sprinkles. There we go, a dark and stormy night collage.
Well, thanks for joining me, and I hope you learned something new and had fun doing the lessons. Join me next time on another episode of Lessons from the Classroom.